Okay, so let's do number 10 now. So number 9 and 10, we only have 3 terms, so we are not allowed to use factoring by grouping on 3 terms. So on these ones, we always need to split up that middle term. How we split up that middle term, we do what I call like the X box here. On top, we're going to do A times C. On bottom, we put B. Now in this case, A is 1, B is -7, and C is -18. These are all the numbers in front of those terms. So if you have no number in front of that squared term, it's just going to be a 1. So A times C here would be -18, and then B would be -7. All right, so we got to think of two numbers that multiply to -18 and add to -7. Now, whenever the number on top is negative, that means you need one negative and one positive. So instead of actually adding to -7, they're actually going to kind of subtract to 7, if you want to think of it like that. So can anybody think of any numbers that multiply to 18 but subtract to make 7?
9 and 2.
9 and 2 sounds good to me. However, we did say that one of these needs to be negative to make it multiply to a -18. So which one is it? Well, since it's adding to a negative, that means the bigger one has to be negative. So I'm going to make it a -9. All right, so these numbers, -9 and +2, that's how I split up this middle term. I'm going to do -9n, +2n. We keep the first term and the last term the same. We only split up that middle term. So now we've turned this from, what do you call it? 3 terms into 4 terms. So now we can do the grouping. So the first group, I don't see a number I can take out, but I can take out an n, which will just leave me with n minus 9. The second group, I'm going to take out a +2. Remember that even though that 18 is negative, it's whether we take out a positive or negative is based on the third term. So in this case, the 2n. I take out that 2, I get n minus 9. Good news, we got the same thing in both parentheses. So we got our answer here is n plus 2 times n minus 9. And that looks good. All right. All right, next up, number 11. So number 11. Now, you can see 11 through 14 here. What's changing is that we have this number in front of the, for A. So on this one, I'm going to have A equals 2, B equals 5, and C equals -12. So when I do my A times C, it's actually going to be -24. B then will be 5. All right, whenever the top number is a negative, we have to actually think about subtracting to make 5. So is there any numbers that multiply to make 24 and subtract to make 5? This one's kind of hard. And so whatever I do when these are kind of hard is I write down the top number, because there's less numbers that multiply to make a number than add. So what multiplies to make 24? Well, we could do 1 times 24. Does that subtract to 5? No, not even close, right? 2 times 12. Does that subtract to make 5? No, but I'd say we're actually getting closer, correct? 3 times 8. Hey, does that subtract to make 5? Yes. So we'll put a 3 and an 8 here. We know that one of those has to be negative. Since the bottom number is positive, we want the bigger number to be positive, smaller number to be negative. All right, so that's how I'm going to split up this middle term, negative 3p plus 8p. We're going to keep the last and the first terms as is. And now we do the grouping. All right, so what can we take out of the first group? Just a p. 2 and 3 don't divide by anything. So we get 2p minus 3 on the inside. The second group, I can take out a 4 with 2p minus 3 on the inside as well. And I get p plus 4, 2p minus 3. All right, let's just do one more. Let's do number 14. I'll slow down for a minute here. All right, number 14. Actually, we'll do two more. All right, so a times c here. We have a is 2, b is negative 9, c is negative 18. So a times c would be negative 36. B is negative 9. So what multiplies to make 36? And since that's a negative, we actually needed to subtract to 9. So we have 1 times 36, 2 times 18. That does not subtract to 9. 3 times 12. There we go. Got it. We could keep going with that, but once you get it, you can actually stop. So we got 3 and we got 12. Now we need to add to negative 9. So in this case, we need the bigger number to be negative. So 3 plus negative 12 is negative 9. 3 times negative 12 is negative 36. So I'm going to split up this middle term. 3n minus 12n. Keep the first term the same. Keep the last term the same. Group it up. First group, just take out an n. Second group, we're going to take out a negative, what would that be? Negative 6. All right, so now we have n minus 6 times 2n plus 3. All right. All right, now one more. Now our really last one. We'll do number 15, and then we'll do our puzzle piece. So number 15, our A times C is going to be 90. And our B is going to be negative 19. So now we need to multiply to make 90. So when it's a positive number up top, you're actually adding to the bottom. So multiplying to make 90, adding to make 19. This one's actually kind of easy in my mind. It's just 9 and 10. But to make it add to a negative, we're going to make them both negative. Remember, a negative times a negative multiplies to make a positive, but adds to make a bigger negative. Okay, so we'll split this up. 3x squared minus 9x minus 10x, and then plus 30. First group, we can take out a 3x, which leaves me with x minus 3. Second group, I would take out a negative 10, which would also leave me with x minus 3. Y por eso mi respuesta final es 3x menos 10 por x menos 3. All right, sounds good.